Hello, hello. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to Christian Motherhood Unfiltered. If you are new here, my name is Emma, and on this podcast, we talk about a little bit of everything. We talk about being a mom, following the Lord, and just real life. I'm a stay at home mom of two little girls, and I am just trying to figure this all out, and I'm trying to share my journey with you all. So, hello, welcome back. Today's episode is going to be a fun one. We are going to talk about balance. And I think this is like the magic question, the golden question, if you will, when you become a mom. I think it's easy to look at other people and other moms, especially moms who have been doing it for longer than you or have more children than you have, and just think that everyone besides you probably has it figured out, right? I have been really guilty of falling into that trap of just thinking everyone else must know what they're doing with this whole motherhood thing except for me. Social media definitely plays a big part in that. But I am going to kind of pull back the layers today and just talk through what balance looks like for me and share some really practical things that have helped me find balance in motherhood because it's not easy, but I do think it's something we can all work towards. So, how do you balance it all? We're talking about maintaining our friendships. How do I take care of myself? How do I invest in my marriage, spend time with my kids, keep up with the household chores? All of these things that all of us have on our plate every single day and are constantly trying to juggle. How do I do it all? First of all, I don't, okay? There is no such thing, in my opinion, as a perfect balance. Social media, for one, is a lie, but it takes me personally like 2 seconds to get on Instagram and scroll and immediately find somebody, a story or a reel or a post, and think, wow, how does she juggle everything? How is she so good at doing this and this and this? And I think before we even jump into my tips here, I need to break that wall down that she probably isn't, because I'm not, and I'm sure you're not. We are all regular human beings and we can't do it all the time. I think it's just this myth we have come up with that balance means I am managing everything on my plate perfectly. And I don't think that exists. So, first of all, let me reassure you, if social media makes you feel like you are failing and everyone else around you has it all figured out, one, you probably need to take a social media detox. And two, that is a lie. No one has it all together. And I do feel like I have a little bit of credibility to kind of pull back the curtain on that, because as an influencer, I can straight up tell you, like, you're seeing a blip of my day. If you see a day in the life vlog from me, for example, that's because that was my main priority that day, was content creation. That was my focus. What you don't see is the things that I had to fail at that day or like set aside that day in order to make the content. So you are seeing somebody look like they're juggling everything, but you're not seeing the things that they're not managing well. And we all have that. So, how do we have a better balance without feeling like we are juggling 50 things and failing at all of them? Because we have all been there. I'm not just here to discourage you that it's impossible. I'm going to share with you 5 very practical tips that have really helped me not feel quite so overwhelmed with all of these things that we are expected to do. I want to do them well and I want to find this balance, but it is really hard. It is hard to feel like you're doing a good job at keeping everything up because it can be very, very overwhelming. So let's just jump right into these 5 tips that help me balance everything. All right, number 1. Pick one thing and start there. Honestly, I think that life goes in these seasons of priority, and in certain seasons, your priorities are going to change and just be different. I think that it is a given that in some seasons, I'm going to have a really busy and thriving social life, and I'll feel like that's something I'm really doing well. But I haven't gone on a date with my husband in a couple months. Or there are seasons where I'm doing a really good job of keeping my house tidy and staying on top of my cleaning schedule, but I haven't done a workout all week. So it's give and take, and I think that's fine. I just think it's unrealistic to expect that we're going to always be doing everything well. I think there are just seasons where you focus on one thing and you start there. So I think too, you need to kind of do a pulse check of what area is it that you really need to focus on right now. So if right now you feel like your house is just a disaster, you cannot stay on top of cleaning and managing your household just feels the most overwhelming to you, then I would say that is your pinpoint of where you need to focus this week. That's something that is probably causing you more overwhelm than it needs to. So everything else that's on your to-do list, yeah, you might be able to get to it, but let's just focus on how can I revisit this cleaning schedule? How can I make this a little bit less overwhelming? Maybe you need to implement a better cleaning routine, or maybe you need to set aside one day a week to just pick everything up and give yourself a fresh slate to start with. I don't know what that is for you, but I think it's a lot easier when we kind of zoom in and focus on the big thing that you really need to focus on. And I think we all have that. Like if it's working out right now, you don't have a good workout routine. Okay, so then look at this week and schedule in just 3 days that you're going to do a workout. Make the workout schedule, make the time, write down what you're going to do, and just get through the week and make sure you reintegrate working out into your routine. And then next week, maybe you can find something different. So pick something that you need to work on. Focus on that. And then once you feel like you have incorporated that into your routine well, and you feel like it's not quite as overwhelming for you, you can then move on to something else that needs your attention. Okay, so now let's zoom in a little bit to our day-to-day routines. And number 2, my second tip for you is to pick your one thing each day. I have found this to be so helpful for me. I have just learned about myself that when my brain has a million things to do, I think about all of them at once, and then I don't get any of them done because I'm so overwhelmed. So what I like to do personally is every day I make a list of my top 3, because honestly, I could write a to-do list of 50 things every day that I need to do, but I don't, because I'm going to get overwhelmed and inevitably I'm not going to get them all done, and then I'm frustrated that I didn't get them all done. So I pick a top 3. These are the 3 things that are the most important in my day, or maybe they're just timely and I need to get them done sooner. And I am just going to focus my day on getting those 3 things done. So personally, I'll give you my example for today. Today's Monday. I'm recording on a Monday. Today, my top 3 were to do my laundry, to do my kids' laundry, and then number 3 was to record this podcast episode. So I made sure if I get extra stuff done today, that's great. But I really need to do my girls' laundry, I really need to do my laundry, and I really need to record this episode. And that makes me feel so much less overwhelmed because those are very practical things and I have time to get those 3 things done. I also find it really helpful to kind of pick a theme for the day, and this is probably a little bit more catered towards stay-at-home moms where you really have the flexibility and control over your day. So, for example, some days my theme of the day, if you will, is my house. Like my house just really needs some TLC. Maybe I just have a lot of cleaning to catch up on and laundry, and I need a toy rotation done, and there's just a lot around my house that needs some extra time and attention. So my main goal for that day is the house. That is my theme and my focus of the day. Some days are more fun days, and these are the days where I don't really worry about my to-do lists and my responsibilities. My focus is my kids. Let's make a play date. Fun game can we go play? What can I make for them outside that will be fun? I am really focused on just making that day special and full of play. And that's not to say I don't play with my kids the other days, but I find it really helpful when that is like my sole focus for one day, is just making the day magical and joyful for my kids. Then on the days where I'm like, okay, I really need to focus on a house reset today. That is like my big theme of the day. Then I don't feel as guilty if I don't spend a lot of time playing with my kids, because I know that I just spent a whole day planning these fun outings, going on a play date, doing things for them, going to the story time at the library, things like that. So it's just really helpful for my brain when I just pick a theme for the day and then I make my top 3 tasks that I need to get done. It's just so much more manageable, and it just helps me to kind of get tunnel vision on one thing or a couple things, as opposed to allowing my brain to feel like it's drowning in tasks to do. Okay, my third tip is to time block your day. I feel like I have a pretty consistent daily routine that we follow without even realizing, and I'm sure that even if you don't realize it, you have one too. So for us, I just take those main tasks like I just talked about and I just plug them into the same spots every day. So for example, from 7 to 9 every morning, that's like our family morning routine. So we're having our family breakfast, we're cleaning up breakfast, we're all getting ready for the day. My husband is leaving for work. And then this is also when I will do a reset or I'll do my cleaning chore of the day. And so, whatever it is that I need to clean that day, I follow a cleaning schedule. So, whatever task of the day it is, that's where I plug it in every single day, is around like sometime between 7 and 9 a.m. That's like the most likely time I have to complete it. Specifically after my girls have breakfast, I've just found their bellies are full. They just woke up, they're not tired, and that's like my prime time where they are very happy to play independently right after my husband leaves for work. And so that's when I will get my cleaning routine done, whatever it is that day. And it's the same time pretty much every single day. The activity that I do is just different. But it's really helpful for me to know in my head, okay, this time I can pretty much guarantee I can get this cleaning activity done. And then it's done for the rest of the day, which is really nice. But I think when you time block your day, it makes your day less overwhelming. Because if I just view my day as these 12 hours with no plan, no guidelines, no routines, I am a mess. I thrive on routines. My kids thrive on routines. And it just makes everything flow so much better. And it holds me more accountable to get those things done. So, like I said, that 7 to 9 in the morning is kind of our morning routine because usually around 9, from like 9 to 11, is our outing of the day. So, it kind of gives me a timeline. Like, I really should get this cleaning task done before 9ish because then we're going to leave the house. And when we come back from the outing, it's going to be lunch and playtime, and then it's going to be nap time. And I just know, I don't know, it just gives me a deadline, and I need that. If I know I have 12 hours to complete something, I'm not going to do it. I know I have all the time in the world. So just kind of giving myself those time blocks in my day has been very helpful for me, especially as a stay-at-home mom where there really is no time frame. There is no schedule unless I make a schedule. Okay, number 4 is to create a weekly routine that works for you. So now we're kind of zooming back out to a weekly schedule. And I think it's just helpful, kind of like I was just talking about, to just have a routine and a schedule that you can fall back on so you don't have to think about it. I have been a stay at home mom for 2 years now, I think. And I, in the beginning, did not understand how to structure it like a job. I thought that was kind of silly. And now that I'm a couple of years in, I am learning that I kind of have to treat it like a job. I never thought, for example, that I needed a planner because I was just hanging out with my kids all day and I'm not working. Why do I need a planner? But having a planner and a schedule and a routine is so helpful because I don't have to think about it. I just kind of know what we're doing and what to expect. So on Sundays, I take the time to plan out my week and schedule my days. So first, I will make sure that I write down any appointments that I have or the girls have. I'll write down play dates that I have scheduled, just things that are already on my schedule. I will write them down because I'm probably going to forget about them, to be honest. So I'll write down the times or the days that I already have things and obligations. Then I will write my cleaning schedule for the week. That way, again, I don't have to think about it. It's just already there. It's already in my routine. So I just plug in the day, what I'm cleaning. Then I will write out my work for the week. So, like if I have a deadline for a brand deal, or like today I needed to record a podcast episode or editing or anything like that, I will plug those in again so I don't have to think about it and I don't forget about doing things that are important. I just already added it in. And then after I've kind of written down all of my obligations, I will add in anything fun that I want to do with the kids. So Thursday is usually our library day, so I'll usually write that down. Fridays I have my Bible study every week. So a lot of these things, again, are routine. They're very predictable, but I like writing them down because it just helps me have a bird's eye view of my week. And then each day I can kind of zoom in and I know what to expect. And this also makes it easier when I wake up and I pick my top 3 of the day because I already have certain things listed that I know I will need to do. And it's just really simple. And then number 5 is to share the work. Have your kids help you. So this is obviously a lot easier for me now that I have a 3.5-year-old, But I do wish that I would have started this a lot sooner than I did. There are a lot of tasks that your kids want to help you with if you allow them to. And you can start this so young. Like I said, I wish I would have started it earlier. But if they are capable of helping you, let them help you. For one, it's so much easier to clean and get things done or cook or whatever it is when you are not trying to keep your kids distracted and away from you. I tried that for a while and I just quickly found that is exhausting because not only are you trying to get stuff done, you're also trying to kind of entertain them at the same time and keep them away and distracted. And realistically, they just want to be with you. And so I've found it so much easier to just involve them. It does take longer and they don't do it obviously, the exact way I would and do it. But honestly, now that my daughter is 3.5, she's gotten really good at some of these tasks and chores that I give her. And it actually helps my mental load. Like she's actually accomplishing things for me that I would have had to do myself. And it's really helpful. So some of the chores that I've had her do lately are things like putting her plate in the dishwasher after a meal, wiping down the table after we eat. She gives our dog food and water every day. She makes her bed, brushing her hair. She really likes to wipe down the windows too. So Monday is my window cleaning day. And so usually I will allow her to do that. And I do have to help her, but she can do a pretty good job and she really enjoys it. So I just think it's really helpful and beneficial if you train your kids to help you. And obviously, it's going to get better as she gets older. But I kind of want to instill that now that like we all are a part of this family, we all live here, and we all have to help out. It's not just mom's job to take care of the house. And also share the work with your partner. I feel like that should go without being said, but if you're feeling overwhelmed, ask for help. I know that sometimes it feels like you shouldn't have to ask for help, but no one is a mind reader and no one can read your mind when you're feeling overwhelmed and no one knows exactly how to help you. So if you are feeling just like, I cannot manage this all, who can you ask for help? Whether it's your partner or your parents or a friend, who is around you that can kind of help lighten your load? Ask for help. Don't just assume no one wants to help you or play the victim. Step out and make yourself a little bit vulnerable and uncomfortable and say, hey, I'm really struggling with this. Do you think you could help me in this specific way? And usually people are not going to tell you no. So share the work, whether it's with your kids helping you with chores every day or making yourself vulnerable, putting yourself out there and asking somebody around you for help. Those are my 5 very practical tips. But I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of it too is just the discipline to keep up with things. If you get behind on whether it's your cleaning routine or you feel like you haven't worked out in 6 months or whatever it might be, it's really hard to get back into the swing of things. If you've ever stopped working out for a long period of time, you know how that feels. I think that applies with every area of life. The more you put it off, and the more you let it pile up, the more difficult it is to jump back into it and to get back into the swing of things and kind of get back to ground zero where you want to be. So I would encourage you to remind yourself of that when you don't feel like cleaning or you don't feel like making time for your marriage or you don't feel like X, Y, and Z. I think that's the point of discipline is you don't feel like it a lot of the time. But you do it because it's important and because it's always worth it. You're doing it for yourself. Like your future self will thank you if you just stay on top of household items and cleaning and managing your household's laundry or I don't know, whatever it is, scheduling coffee dates with friends for the month. Like when you stay ahead of it, it's not as daunting and you're not going to feel as overwhelmed. So, I would encourage you just to stay disciplined and just to stay on top of it. It's okay, obviously, to give yourself grace because, like I said, this whole idea of the perfect balance does not exist, but don't allow yourself to just dig this hole deeper and deeper of like, I can't do it all and I'll never be able to do it all. You're right, you'll never be able to do it all, but you can do one thing. You can improve one area. You can get one thing done right now. It's like that really cheesy saying that I hate, but is really true of how do you eat an elephant or whatever it is, one bite at a time, right? When you're staring at the elephant, which is the pile of laundry or it's working out again or XYZ, it's really overwhelming and it's really daunting. but you do it one bite at a time, and it's not that bad. It's really not. You just have to do something. That is my encouragement for you. But again, do not allow anyone to make you believe and make you feel like you are failing if you feel like you don't have this perfect balance. No one is asking you to be superwoman, okay? God has not given you all of these things to overwhelm you. He's given them to you to steward because you can handle it, and He knows you will handle it well. I hope that this episode was helpful for you, and I hope that you got some good practical takeaways from it. It is not all about being productive and having everything perfect and tidy and clean. It's more about just stewarding the blessings that the Lord has given us well and not allowing, I talked about this, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Not allowing the enemy to convince us that our blessings are really burdens. And I think that that applies in so many areas of our life, but that's just some things that have helped me not allow things like my house or my kids or my marriage to feel like a heavy burden I have to carry. It just makes it more manageable, and it makes it feel more like a blessing when it's not so overwhelming. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that it blessed you. Make sure you go and follow me on Instagram and YouTube and all the places. And also make sure to leave a rating and a review of the podcast. It's really, really helpful for it. And make sure you share it with a friend too. If you've not shared my podcast before, if you have a friend or a mom friend that you think would enjoy, make sure you share it with them. Thanks for listening today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, friends.